Welcome to another episode of Sports Vibe. I'm Arnav Sarkar here with Jitesh Ramakrishnan and special guest Adithya Ashok. We're friends from Dogwood. We live in the same complex. We play basketball. We both play piano actually too. So a lot of similarities. But yeah, we're both pretty into basketball. Been wanting to have him on for a while because of the Damian Lillard trade. He's a big Dame fan. I thought this news was going to happen during the summer, so we originally had that planned out for then, assuming he was going to go to like the Heat or something. Maybe the Nets, but probably the Heat. Now he ended up going to the Bucks, which seemed like a complete wild card. Jrue Holiday got traded to the Celtics, which I think is a good replacement for Marcus Smart, who went to the Grizzlies. Yeah, so I mean, I guess we can break that down, what that means for Dame, the rest of the league. The Bucks. I feel like the Bucks are, if not NBA favorites to win it next year, I think they are in Vegas at least. I think they're definitely at least Eastern Conference favorites now. I mean, Giannis, Dame, they still keep Middleton, they have Brook Lopez. Like they have a solid team around them. That's two stars. I feel like Miami really missed out. They should have really done everything they could to get him. I mean, they spent all this. They have the
Well,
core together, but.
you heard the specs of the trade. Like they originally wanted either Butler or Bam, and
Oh, okay.
I
Well, in
guar
that case,
I
no.
and no, I guarantee you, Pat Riley would have rather chopped off one of his fingers
No,
than
Bam
traded
and
either.
Bam and Jimmy
No,
are
no, I said
non-negotiable.
I said or one of them, but
Or either one. I feel like everyone else, like even Hero, that could have been part of the package.
what
Robinson.
you really think Tyler Zero is worth trading for? Yeah, I call him Tyler Zero because
I
he's
mean, I thought he was
worthless.
part of like what people wanted. Like there was even this talk about him possibly going to the Nets and stuff like that, but I guess he never made the
Uh-uh.
deal. No. Is he not that good? I don't know. It's been a while
No,
since we've talked
no.
about basketball in here, but I mean, I've always liked him, but I mean, like,
For
you
what?
know, who else do they have at point guard? They have Kyle Lowry, and I don't
Uh,
know. Maybe he'd be worth trading,
really
honestly.
trading
But
for Kyle Lowry?
I
Like
think
who?
he's even less worth it than
The,
Hero. At least Hero's like pretty capable,
no,
like solid. You know what
no.
I mean?
Kyle Lowry was awful in the playoffs, and he's what?
Yeah,
And he's like 500 years old right now.
that's
What
true.
can you
Yeah,
trade
Kyle
for?
Lowry would not work. But like Jimmy and Bam, obviously non-negotiable. I didn't really realize that, but
I mean, maybe
um.
he could have worked something with Bam. I mean,
Maybe. Yeah,
Pat
if he
Riley
can
would
get
have
like a good if he get like Brooke Lopez for Bam, like I could see that happening again.
Pat
But
Riley would have never traded Jimmy Butler. I
yeah,
can get
I don't think that should have been. I thought like with Jimmy, Bam, and Dame, then you can kind of work the rest out. You could put together a good package. You probably have the picks. I'm not really too sure about the
no
picks. You
Pat
definitely have the
no
players.
Pat Riley would have retired before trading Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
I
no,
I
that's out. But what do you think of the Bucks package though? I mean, they were the ones who actually, made the deal. And yeah, you could definitely pitch in a bit, yeah, since you're obviously a Dame fan. What do you think about the trade for both from a Bucks perspective, like a league perspective, and like, a Damian Lillard perspective in terms of him having a chance to, win a championship now?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a pretty good move by them, and like they didn't really lose that much assets when you think about it because I think they traded Jrue Holiday. Obviously, that's a big blow towards their chemistry because they had a big three going on. They were able to win a chip a few years ago and stuff. But other than that, I would really say that I mean, me being a Dame fan, no bias, but I would definitely say that Dame brings more towards the offensive side of the game versus
Right.
Jrue
Yeah, I
Holiday
agree.
bringing towards like the
Defense.
defensive
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that kind of thing. And also I feel
Right.
like they still have like a decent core. Like they still have a really good like top six. Maybe like only underneath Boston and I don't know about Denver right now, but maybe underneath Boston, I'd say like they're big,
Yeah,
like
I could
their
see
top six
that.
is pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
see
like yeah. Mhm.
see like the thing is, it's like I look at it from the other side. I don't look at it from the Dame side. Like looking for the Drew Holiday trade, I think the Celtics made the right move because first of all, I mean Marcus Smart is gone. Like Marcus Smart is easily a top five defensive player in the NBA, if not the best. Like easily like he's one of the most tenacious, ferocious, aggressive bulldog defensive players in the NBA. Like there's no question about it. So trading him away, that hurts. And Jrue Holiday is no slouch on defense either. Like, sure, he doesn't put up as many points as Dame, but what matters a lot more in the playoffs when the time matters? Defense. Who came up with that steal in game five of the NBA Finals? Jrue Holiday.
True. Yeah.
When was the last time Damian Lillard stole anything aside from $200 million from Portland?
Yeesh. Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Dame's more offensive minded. He's a pretty good 3-point shooter. He's definitely, the point guard of the team. That's more his skill, like, especially long range. He's like probably second to Steph Curry in that department, but I don't think defense is something he's really known for. I mean, the Bucks could take care of that. Well, now they lost, Holiday, but I mean, I feel like
Mhm.
they still have good paint defense. Obviously, you have Giannis, you have Brook Lopez, but the guard defense,
Well,
obviously
well,
that's gonna
yeah,
be missing a little bit.
Giannis covers half the court with just 2 strides.
That's
So
true. Exactly.
Yeah.
He can go get chased down blocks, like all that kind of stuff. Definitely something to worry about. But do you guys think the Celtics are like better now? Like I forget what Vegas exactly like thinks, but I mean I feel like maybe the Celtics still might
I
be
mean,
the one team the Bucks have to
here's a
beat. I
one
don't know.
like the one part I don't like about the trade. Robert Williams is gone. That's the
Yeah,
one
Mhm.
I
part I
know. I
don't
really
like.
like Robert Williams, a Time Lord. He's always
Yeah.
getting blocks and all of that. Yeah. I mean, who else went in that? Obviously, Smart went to.
Malcolm Brogdon. Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I
but
like
like the
Brogdon
thing,
too. Yeah. Mhm.
Brogdon, he had like the elbow tear or something like during the playoffs.
Mhm.
I mean, you saw him during the final stretches. Like he literally could not shoot. I mean, sure, like you have this
That's
entire
fair. Yeah.
offseason to recover from that, and I'm sure he's definitely
Mhm.
circling the few games at TD Garden on his list to like. I'm sure about that, but hey, I mean, the Celtics still have great depth. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't have to give up Derek White. I see that as a win.
Mhm.
And you saw Derek White.
Mm,
He defied
yeah.
all basketball gods in Game 6.
Of course. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely feel like what's his name? Trading away Robert Williams, although like it's kind of a big hit because I'm also I mean, I'm a Dame fan first, but I'm also a Celtics fan. So definitely losing Robert Williams was kind of a little bit of a blow, but I feel like his timetable with like him being injured most of the season of last year, or even like the previous years that he's been a part of Boston, it's kind of been like, is he going to be ready or not? And like I feel like Brad Stevens couldn't really wait on just Rob Williams
Yeah,
being healthy and
that
stuff.
is true. And anyways, Al Horford is known to like stop Giannis during the
Hmm.
not stop,
Oh, yeah.
limit Giannis during the playoffs. And he's the father of Joel Embiid. So
That was a
and
good series there.
there's a loser of the trade, the Sixers.
Sixers.
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, that's fair.
hey, you couldn't trade one unhappy point guard for another, even though James Harden
I
is
know
not
that would
really
have
a
been
point
so
guard.
perfect if they like
No, no,
did that,
no,
honestly.
no,
It would
not
be
even
hilarious because Harden would have been stuck in Portland. And then Dame would have actually been on like a pretty decent team in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid and maybe they could have made a run and like that's what Sixers really want. They want to get past the second round of the playoffs. Maybe that's the
That's
way
never gonna happen.
they do
They're
it.
the Eastern Conference
Yeah,
Clippers,
Yeah.
basically.
and
Yeah.
that might be an insult to the Clippers because they actually made it to the Western Conference Finals once.
A couple of years ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's how do you guys see like the Nets for this season, by the way, since we're talking about basketball? Like I know they're not really like a
Sixth or
six in the
seventh.
East, but yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's probably gonna be similar. Like they're
No,
still
no, but
rebuilding.
the East is hella stacked now.
It
Let's see.
Mhm.
There's
is.
Milwaukee. There's Boston. There's the fake Sixers.
Philadelphia.
There
Yeah.
there's the Knicks. They could be
The
good.
Knicks are probably gonna be
Yeah.
like, yeah, 4 or 5 range.
Then
Cavs,
there
right?
and
The Hawks
there's
turned
The
up
Heat.
randomly.
Mm,
the Mickey
I mean,
Mouse Heat.
yeah, and then the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, they're in that range somewhere. It's where I'd be happy honestly if they're in the same position as they were last year because like they're rebuilding. They have
But
McCall Bridges and
as I've told you,
sure, but like I
yeah,
mean, it's not gonna be anything more than
yeah.
that. And
As I've
yeah,
told you countless times, like before the Dame trade went down, like especially on this podcast, the right move for the Nets would have not been trading for Lillard. I
honestly,
tried
I
to
don't
tell you
think
that
so
countless
either.
times.
Yeah, I don't think so either because they're not in the position where if they were to get him, they'd like be a championship contender. They'd be probably like a second round team maybe, but it's
Yes,
Mm.
even with Dame and McCall, yeah,
effectively
it
you'd be
still
the
wouldn't
Portland
be there.
Trailblazers. Effectively, you would
Pretty
have been
much,
Yeah.
yeah.
Portland.
So they have to build the right way, and then maybe if in a few years, if there's a superstar, like I don't know if they want to go that route again, but they have to build up, and then maybe if they need someone to take them over the hump at that point, like they can. But I think the Nets have kind of had enough with like trying with superstars at this
Yeah,
point.
they all
Especially two massive fails within 1 decade.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think they
Definitely.
lost too many assets with the James Harden trade, so
I mean,
like couldn't really
think about
recoup.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown could have been yours. That Jason
Oh
Tatum guy could
man.
have been yours.
Oh man.
What else?
If we didn't have the Celtics deal, like that would be so
No,
unfortunate.
if you didn't trade for Garnett, Pierce, and Jason Terry.
Oof. I know that was the worst. At least this one, like it should have worked out on paper, like Harden, KD, and Kyrie. That other one, like they were all.
The
I don't know what
thing
the
is,
Nets are thinking.
all three of those guys, their basketball games are just as great as their egos. That's the problem.
KD, you're talking about KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Well,
Yeah,
obviously, yeah.
I mean,
You
I mean,
know, wouldn't be the other three.
amongst those three, KD's the least egotistical of the three, but that's not really saying much.
That's fair, yeah. It's just unfortunate that I got my KD jersey going to a Nets game last winter break, and then he like literally left like less than a month later or
Hey,
something like that. If the
see if you
timing's
can
around.
trade your jersey in.
Yeah, for something else. I don't know. I like McCall, honestly. That might be worth getting.
Or you
Like
know what?
he's literally carrying the team.
Just go for a classic. Get a Brook
Claxton's good
Lopez.
too, yeah.
No,
That would
no,
be nice.
no, not Claxton. I said go get a classic. Go get Brook Lopez.
Classic.
I like, yeah, that could be good. I mean, I started watching the Nets way back when it was like Darren Williams, Joe Johnson, like
Ooh,
that era.
Wait, you know what? See if you can get a retro New Jersey Darren Williams jersey.
Yeah, New Jersey, because that's why I chose the Nets like over the Knicks because they were, they're New Jersey's team, then they're
Hence why
Brooklyn's
you're a
team.
New Jersey
Yeah.
Devils
And then
fan.
they got like quote unquote better, but they actually really didn't. But I think I was too young to really realize that then. But anyway, it's been a long ride. They're one of my first teams I've liked. So obviously I like basketball. It's a fun game. I play a little bit. We play it together at the court. I like watching it. Like football, like and I guess might be a good segue, or we could do baseball first. But I guess like football I enjoy watching. Like I mean, that's not true. I like watching both, but basketball is like kind of more casual, and then football I'm like really intently into it. So there's like only so much of that I could probably do. Basketball I could just turn on whatever game's going on. Doesn't really have to be my team. Just enjoy it. That's like a thing. But yeah, anyway, I mean I think that's a good recap of the Damian Lillard trade, the Jrue Holiday trade, like what it means for Dame and what it means for the league as a whole. I mean, I think yeah, Bucks Celtics are probably going to be the two teams in the East to beat. The Nuggets probably right now. I mean, they're probably favored in the West. I'm not really sure who would be up there with them. Maybe the Lakers. I think they had made some nice moves and
Please,
stuff like that.
give me a
But I think
break.
the Nuggets are better though for sure. Like you can't compete with Jokic, Murray, and supporting cast. I mean, like they have some solid bench pieces. Like even without Bruce Brown, they have Christian Braun. They have, I mean, what Michael Porter Jr. is like their third best player. Like they have guys like they can easily step in and so I mean, it's probably going to be like the Nuggets and some other teams in the West, and then, I don't know, but the Suns, I don't know about them, but like we'll see.
Maybe that band of old men from San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors.
The Golden State, yeah, you definitely should never count them out.
Or you know what, sleeper pick, Sacramento Kings.
I like the Kings. I really do from last year. I don't know. That's a bit like I don't know, but I still can't believe Chris Paul went to the Warriors. I just saw something about that, and I completely forgot about that happening. And then I was like, oh yeah.
No, I saw the pictures on media day. I'm like, what the hell is this?
They're gonna have like three. They're gonna have like what, like two, like, but it's like, how does that even work? Like, who's
Steph and Chris Paul can't
be
coexist.
A good sixth man, I guess. Like. I mean, I don't like obviously Steph's going to start point guard and Clay's going to be the shooting guard, and they have their small ball line.
I don't know what I mean.
Draymond,
with how badly Clay was shooting in the playoffs last year, I reckon like if push comes to shove, put CP at the 1 and put Steph at the 2.
Honestly, that might not be the worst idea because Chris Paul's like a floor general. Like he's the typical point guard, right? Like he's exactly what you want in a point guard. And Steph's the best shooter like all time, and yeah, he has good handles too. We know that. I think his handles are second to Kyrie, honestly, but like he's the best shooter. Like obviously, you get him open shots, he's gonna be good from three for sure.
And of course, Draymond averaging more technicals per season than points per game.
Right. Yeah, so I guess that's probably how the West looks. Yeah, if you want to shift over to baseball, I mean, I know the wild card games already, they're going on. I think the Phillies Marlins game's going on right now, and the other three of the day already are wrapped up.
It's in the 7th inning right now, Phillies Marlins. But let's just talk about games that actually happened real quick, and then we'll go to football. So we were talking about failures earlier, and so like naturally the Portland Trailblazers came up. So let's talk about a different failure, the Minnesota Twins. And I've been a proponent of constantly making fun of the Twins because I don't know, it's just usually fun to make fun of Minnesota sports teams, but I will commend them. For the first time in 19 years, the Minnesota Twins have won a playoff game. And yes, you heard that right, Arnav. For the first time in
19
19 years.
years. They
Yeah,
haven't even won a playoff game in 19
no,
years? Wow.
no, before that, before this, the Minnesota Twins in the playoffs since 2004, which ironically, no, wait, let me think back. Yeah, so, they were 18 in playoff games. Yeah, and 0-18 consecutive loss after loss after loss in the playoffs, and about half of them came from the Yankees. So, yeah, so Minnesota has finally won. The Twins have finally won a playoff game. Honestly, I'm surprised at this. I wish they were able to win playoff games when Joe Mauer is still playing for them. But hey, I guess better late than never. And now the Blue Jays find themselves in a similar position like last year, where they are on the brink of going home against. Personally, I picked the Blue Jays over the Twins, so I'm a bit shocked at this.
Hmm.
So
Interesting, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean, I
then
think that's the pick most people probably make is the Twins. You know, they struggled all year and they kind of won a
no
division. No
that
one was really
no that
trying except for them. So,
yeah,
you
and
know,
Cleveland was in there for a little bit, and then they just
yeah,
steamrolled. Oh,
right.
and remind me about Cleveland at the end of the 4 games here going on.
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
talk about Cleveland and just a little bit more. And now another game that I was fairly shocked at, the Rangers and the Rays, where
Mm.
the Rangers just completely whooped Tyler Glass now. I was not expecting that. I mean, of course, Tampa Bay doesn't really have any arms outside of Glass now right now because everyone else is just injured to hell. But
Hmm.
um and very uncharacteristic baseball from the Rays. They had 4 errors, 4 in
Hmm.
the wild card game. Like
Wow.
you're not going to win with that. But I mean, I'm surprised the Rangers are able to get this done right now. Um, but hey, we'll see where things go. It's a 3-game series for the wild cards. And of course, you've already finished most of the job right now. You still need to win one more. And frankly, I don't feel all that confident in the Rangers right now because, of course, DeGrom is out, Scherzer's out. I mean, but DeGrom is out for next year, but we're not counting that for now. They've had to shift their lineup so many times, and of course, the bullpen. I don't know what the hell's gone on with the Rangers bullpen. And you're familiar with the guy named Afoldis Chapman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Former Yankee. Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman. I call
Or
him
I wrote this. Yeah.
I call him Afoldis because he folds in the biggest moments.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, well, you would know
I mean, yeah, I
quite
mean, I know. That's
quite a bit
true.
about that.
That's true.
Um, but yeah, so I have so many questions about the Rangers bullpen. So, but at the same time, Tampa Bay doesn't really have any starting pitching right now, so we'll see where things go from here. Now on into the NL. D-backs and the Brewers, as we're speaking right now, at the time of this recording, bottom 7th. D-backs lead 4-3. And ironically, we're talking about the Rays. Longtime Tampa Bay Rays legend, Evan Longoria, actually helped put the D-backs in the lead. So, yeah, but of course, the big news, Brandon Woodruff out with a shoulder injury for the wild card for the Brewers. And of course, we don't know how long that could be. I mean, the playoffs for the Brewers could end as soon as tomorrow, or it could end in November as my World Series pick. But I mean, I'd really like to see Brandon Woodruff pitch in the playoffs. He's one of the best pitchers in the game. Of course, Corbin Burns. So yeah, I mean, like, I still have hope from Milwaukee. And of course, Corbin Carroll, probably the NL Rookie of the Year. But we will see how this goes. And right now, it's the top of 7th. Marlins, Phillies. Phillies leading 3-zip. Zach Wheeler's absolutely dealing right now. And aside from that, the Marlins haven't really shown any sign of life. I mean, of course, Jazz Chisholm is doing all he can, and Sandy Alcantara. He's out. So there's one ace the Marlins are missing right there. So we'll see where all things go. But just it should be noted that the last two times the Marlins have made the playoffs in a 162 game season, they've gone on to win something called the World Series. So we'll see where things go. And of course, just want to conclude this baseball season certainly was something. And we've now seen a lot of legends retire. Cleveland, as I mentioned, Terry Francona, I think I don't know if he's officially announced his retirement or not, but all signs are pointing that he is retiring as skipper of the Indians. The Guardians, whatever they're called now. He's certainly been a fantastic manager. Of course, very well known in Boston for being the manager for breaking the curse. But yeah, Tito, it's very unfortunate he couldn't win 2,000 games. I think he's sitting somewhere around like 19,000 games. Oh, no, 1,948 games or something. He's won in his career. So very nice for him. And of course, we all know the legends who are retiring right now. Adam Wainwright, and of course, Miguel Cabrera. I love Miguel Cabrera so much. It's you're getting old when you're seeing your favorite players retire, and I don't know how I'm taking that, but certainly it's certainly something to think about. And of course, one of my favorite pitchers that I've watched for all this time. I mean, I don't know if he's actually put in his retirement or not, but he might be very well gone after this season. Zach Greinke, certainly loved watching him pitch. Definitely one of the best pitchers in the game, and he didn't use speed to deceive you. He just used pitches, and that's the best way I could describe Greinke. And of course, another legend, Arnav, Joey Votto, and so legendary. He got ejected in this final game.
Wow, so unfortunate.
I personally think it's legendary because how many other
It's
players
kind
have
of a
done
cool
that?
way to go out, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sure he was arguing something,
it's
that
a shame it
yeah.
was in the first inning. Who knows? Maybe he's going
Oh.
to come back for one more year, so he gets ejected in the ninth inning. I don't know, but
Who knows?
I
Yeah. It was nice
mean,
seeing him coming back and, LA De La Cruz, but the rest kind of faded a little bit
but
in the
yeah,
end of the
but
season there.
Miguel Cabrera, literally the storybook ending to his career. Like you could not
Yeah.
have asked for better. He gets the ground ball delivered right towards him at first base, and he steps on the bag, makes an
Wow.
unassisted out, and immediately all of Detroit is just applauding him.
Amazing.
He's just taking in the moment, like
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Wainwright recently he won his 200 game as a start for the pitcher. For the Cardinals as a pitcher. So really fun to see that. And yeah, of course, there's like the recent. While we're all talking about pitchers, there's the really unfortunate news about Tim Wakefield, died from brain cancer, 57, Red Sox legend. Also was really damn good for the Pirates for I believe their 92 playoff run, if I remember correctly. One of the best knuckleballers in the game. Like one of the best knuckleball pitchers that baseball's ever seen. So it's really sad that he's gone now. But those are all those are all the big names right there. Yeah, and of course, the greatest baseball player who's ever played the game. I think he recently announced his retirement a couple days ago. A couple weeks ago, he threw out the first pitch for the Mets. His name is Bartolo Colon, the greatest baseball player who's ever graced the baseball diamond. Like that's just unquestionable facts. Like he's by far the greatest baseball player ever. But yeah, and one more I need to talk about. Not sure if he's put in his retirement announcement or not, but for the Giants, a very underrated player, very underrated, key part of the dynasty for the San Francisco I can't speak for the San Francisco Giants. Brandon Crawford, their shortstop, very very core contributor and relied upon in the clutchest moments. And it doesn't even have to be offensively. Like he made one of the best defensive stops in the 2014 World Series for the Giants in Game 7 against the Royals. Like I'm like I said before, you're getting older when some of your favorite players are retiring, and of course I had to deal with that experience with Tom Brady a few months ago, and um, that was hard. I couldn't say goodbye to Tom Brady. Like I just wanted to keep watching him playing. Like I honestly thought I was probably gonna die before Tom Brady retired, but
Yeah. I mean, he came back and then he re-retired again after that. So, this time seems like it's final. So,
yeah.
yeah. Mm,
How about
yeah.
you? How about you, Arnav? You had any happy memories with some of these people?
Um, yeah, I mean, all of this actually kind of reminded me of like Derek Jeter's final like at bat at Yankee Stadium. I think I was actually watching that game
Oh,
as
the
into
walk off
baseball.
against the Orioles, the
Yeah,
walk off
yeah,
against
yeah.
the Orioles, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was 5-5, and Jeter was on the at the play, and he hit a walk-off single, and it was just like the perfect way to like end his career. Like I'm doing the
That's
same
a
thing he's
Yankee.
done
That's
for
a Yankee
years.
Stadium. He truly ended his career at Fenway Park, and Fenway
Oh,
of all
that was his
places.
last home. Yeah. Did anything memorable happen away? I mean, that's also interesting, is that arch rivals, right? The Red Sox, Yankees. Or was it just kind of like I don't know. I don't really remember that. I remember the home one.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think anyone remembers Derek Jeter's actual final hit because people
Mm,
just choose to remember the home games, and I don't blame them
right.
for that.
Yeah.
As a fan of the home team, naturally you want to saturate yourself in the home moments. Like that comes to your
Yeah.
mind. That
Yeah.
comes to your mind a lot more than like clutch visiting moments. Like that's what I think. I mean, of course, like
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
the Super Bowl doesn't really apply to
Well,
that because
that's a
only a couple teams
visiting.
have actually played at home. But like, for example, like
Right. Those
you
are what
just
the
thought
Bucks and the someone else did it recently. The Rams, right? In
the
LA. Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah, wow. Two back-to-back years too. That's the interesting part. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but like, I mean, like as sports fans, like I think we think about the more clutch moments that happen on the home court
Right.
than on the visitors court.
I
Let's
agree with that.
try and drum up some examples. I mean, we'll speed run through the NFL in the next segment, but
Hmm.
um, like what I mean, you just brought up and that was a meaningless game. I mean, aside for Yankees
Yeah.
fans.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, like for example, like I'm pretty sure a lot of Cardinals fans, um, going back to them, the St. Louis Cardinals, I should elaborate.
Yeah.
Very, I'm pretty sure David Freese will forever be in your hearts, especially Game 6 of the 2011 World Series. You remember that game tying triple? I still remember watching that World Series. Man, what a series! You remember that series or no, Arnav?
I don't know. I think I was a little young back then. Plus not as into
Come on.
baseball, but yeah, it sounds like it was a great moment though.
No,
Good.
it was fantastic. It was fantastic. Like, and rarely do you hear, and it's already a rarity when Joe Buck like
Right.
gets excited. So,
Yeah.
but like that's one instant right there. How about some basketball moments? Like,
Oh, Kobe's last game where he had like 60, right? Or something like that.
exactly. See,
That's one. Yeah.
yeah. No one remember. Like, I
And
mean,
the Lakers are so bad that season too, but they just kept giving him the
yeah.
ball,
They had
you
what like
know,
16 wins that season.
something it was terrible. But they gave him a lot of shots and they won. So yeah, it was one of those types of games. But it was really cool because obviously Kobe's a legendary player and rest in peace, obviously. But I mean, it was cool seeing that even if you're not like a Lakers fan, just for a basketball moment in general, it was
Yeah,
just one of those things, you know what I mean?
I think I was able to let go of my Lakers hatred for just like that one
Just that
game.
one game. Yeah, as a Celtics fan, I can imagine, yeah. But yeah, so that was something because he had 60 points, he had the game winner, 15 of the last 17 points. I mean, it was something. Yeah, what are some other ones? Oh, Eli Manning's last game. That was
Oh
one I
come.
remember watching
Oh, wait.
as a Giant.
I
Or well, I
honestly
mean, he
don't
didn't play
remember
for
his
any of the.
last game.
It wasn't like as like unique. I can't remember who exactly
No,
they're playing,
I'm
but
not even hating. Like I genuinely don't remember his
okay.
last game.
Against the Dolphins. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he
Is
was.
this
I think Daniel Jones was
2019?
injured. They were still kind of rotating the two of them.
All right, so this was 2019 then.
2019, he had Oh wow, he had 2 touchdowns and 3 picks. It's not great, but they won.
That sounds like a typical Eli
Oh
Manning stat
man,
right there.
he had like yeah. I guess a common thing people like to say is he had like 2 great seasons and a bunch of bad ones. And I guess that's kind of true. It's like either the Giants were like really good or they kind of weren't. But
I mean,
you
if you
know,
think
but
if
that's
you
okay
think
though. I mean, you know
if
what
you
I
think
mean?
about it, the Giants were very reminiscent of like the Olympics. Like every 4 years, they were accidentally good.
I mean, accidentally, yeah, I guess. And they would have been good like the following year after 2008 if like Plaxico burst and shoot his hand. But anyway,
If he wasn't an idiot, but
yeah, it's unfortunate. But I mean that I think they had like a good regular season. They got eliminated early in the playoffs. So, but those 2 magical years obviously like were special. But yeah. So his last
yeah,
game.
special.
I mean, well, not obviously not for Patriots fans, but like, I mean, you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
2 great
but
runs to the Super
well,
Bowl.
well, we were talking about legends, not overrated people. So like
Okay.
Eli Manning doesn't exactly count as part of
Yeah.
that conversation.
It was nice because he has his family there, and I mean, it was his curtain call, and it was kind of like during a season game, and it was the Giants' third win of the season. I remember watching that one. So it
The
was
third
cool.
win of the season. Wait,
Apparently,
how deep was this?
this was pretty late. This was published December 15th. Oh, yeah, the Giants were really bad that season. I think they only had like 5 wins or something.
Oh yeah, they drafted Andrew Thomas with like the fourth overall pick the next year. So yeah, they were quite spectacularly terrible.
Yeah, so I guess that one was the final game. Any other ones I guess you could think of or um
Like, we're talking on with Aditya. I'm pretty sure he remembers Game 5 um against OKC very well. That was at home
mhm.
court. You know, the one he sunk over Paul George.
Yeah, I know. That's a legendary moment. It's not like a retirement moment, but no, that's an all-time Damian Lillard shot. One of something that'll go down forever and
Yeah, I
probably
mean, of
sports
course,
history. So like,
yeah,
for the series, right?
of course, like Steph Curry, like you remember that game tying shot against OKC
Oh yeah.
in the 2015-2016
The one that
season.
made
Like,
his like, really put him on the map for the
yeah,
first
I mean,
time.
like that one's very well known, but and that's who like that was an away game, but of course, like Steph has had like probably like maybe at least a good like 15 more moments that have trumped that at home.
Yeah,
And
that's true. This is really actually interesting thinking about did like Marty Brodeur like have like a really cool final game or something? Like obviously he's a Devils legend.
I'm trying to think.
They've had good
Like
goalies for a while.
I mean,
Like,
Marty
yeah.
Brodeur, I think he like
I don't
I
remember.
mean
He also played for Nashville, I think, or something like that, or he signed a
no,
contract.
not Nashville, the St. Louis Blues.
Oh, that yeah. Yeah, the Blues. Yeah. He played for the Blues,
But
right?
I
Yeah.
think that was in like the 2014 season, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
yeah. Yeah.
Let me just look. I need to get my Martin Brodeur facts correct. Like it's very important.
I
I like
see. Yeah, I see Brodeur, he won his final start with the Devils, I believe, too. So, and then I guess Corey Schneider, stepped in. He also retired recently, I think, right? Corey
yeah,
Schneider.
he
Wow.
did.
Yeah, I remember just seeing that recently. I was like, yeah. It seems like yeah, Devils are pretty set with goalies, but I mean, like, it's a strong thing, but for them, but yeah, so then they had the, thank you, Marty thing. I mean, yeah, a lot of like great sports moments and people's final games with the team and stuff like
I
that.
I mean, but it's not just the final. It's not just like the final game part with that. I mean, like Damian Lillard obviously was well
Well,
4 years
true,
from his final game with Portland, but
but
I'm
like
just I'm
signature
just saying as
moments
sport. I'm just saying like as sports
as
fans in
sports
general,
fan.
regardless of whether your player is close to retirement or
Right,
15
right.
years away. I think we remember the moments that happen more on the home
On
turf.
the home than
Of
away. Yeah,
yeah,
I think so too. It's always like, somber feeling when like I'm not really somber. It's like kind of, like a bittersweet thing where like when a team wins the championship on the other team's court and then like obviously that's still great because you're watching it from home, but then it's so much better
yeah.
when your
Like
team
I
wins
mean,
it
come
because then
on,
the
when
other fans are just disappointed. They
I
probably
mean,
filed out.
come on,
Like, you
like
know what I mean?
the Nuggets winning the championship on their home
That
court.
was cool, right?
That was all the Vegas Golden Knights doing that
They won it on
6 year.
home ice in Vegas. That was
I mean,
awesome. Yeah.
the thing is, the first season they're there, they made the Stanley Cup
And they
Finals.
lost.
No, they lost it at T-Mobile Arena
right,
at
to
their
the
house,
Capitals. I remember that.
and
Yeah.
pretty sure that left a sour taste in Bill
Yeah.
Foley's mouth.
And then all
So
these years later, they did it. They were dominant. And,
yeah, they
Nuggets are pretty
dominated
dominant too.
at home.
So
I mean, I
it
would
was
have
like,
loved to
yeah.
see. I would have loved to see the Colorado Avalanche the previous year, win it at home, but
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
they won it in Tampa Bay
Yeah.
instead, and
It
Denver
was
said
so,
the
yeah.
Nuggets said, "Well, we have to bring the championship home anyways."
Yeah. I agree. So yeah, I mean, it was just so crazy how in sync the NBA and NHL seasons felt. Like it felt like the Panthers and the Heat, both from South Florida, were doing like the same exact thing and winning the finals. I think they both swept. No, wait, they didn't.
They
Oh,
no,
well, I mean,
they both lost in five. It was a gentleman's
yeah,
sweep.
they both lost in five to like I guess the who are actually like the best teams in the league,
Wait,
but they both
wait,
like plowed
I
through as
forget.
underdogs the rest of the
Wait,
playoffs. It was
I
crazy.
forget to. No, no, no.
Obviously,
The
the
Heat won.
difference
No, 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 no. The Heat won Game 2 in Denver. The Panthers won Game 3 at
in
Florida.
Florida, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a perfect like mirror, but like it just felt pretty similar. I guess one of the differences was obviously Celtics almost coming back on
I mean,
on the Heat, and then the Nuggets sweeping the
I think
Lakers. But
between those
other
two,
than that, very similar runs
no,
for
I
both
think between
teams.
those two Florida teams, like by far, the Florida Panthers were a lot more like resilient, tenacious, bloodthirsty, hungry. I mean,
Yeah, I'd
the
probably say so.
I
The
mean
Heat
the
still did
Heat.
have some
No,
talent.
I'm like the thing is the Heat made the Mickey Mouse finals before,
That's
and
true.
uh and also like they've had deep playoff runs. So it's like
Yeah,
this is the first time the Panthers have like gone to the finals since 1996, where they lost to the Avs. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's always fun talking about this kind of stuff. We're gonna talk about some NFL, recap all the games from this past weekend. So we'll see you on the flip side. And this has been part one of the next episode of Sports Vibe.